nombre es Francisco, soy de El Salvador, tengo 19 años y en esta ocasión vengo a hablar un poco sobre mi experiencia con Star versus las Fuerzas del Mal. Pues la verdad fue una serie que empecé a ver así de la nada, fue cambiando los canales y dio la casualidad que me llamó la atención y también me terminó gustando sobre su humor, pero algo que sí no esperaba era acerca de su historia, o sea, no esperaba que hubiera un trasfondo más profundo en la serie que me terminó gustando. Y la verdad fue bueno, de las primeras series animadas que me termino viendo completamente y sinceramente, quieras o no, fue algo grande, ya que dentro de la serie algo que me gustó fue que al principio se podía ver de que era un poco humor, pero luego se fue como tornando como más serio. Y en cierto punto, algo que uno puede notar en los personajes es de que la mayoría tenían algo en común, que era sobre que todas las cosas que ellos hacían no se las acordaban, sino que trataban de hacerlas o expresarlas. Y de igual manera, a pesar de que hubieran conflictos entre ellos, trataban de resolverlos. Algo que también me gustó de la serie fue que trataron de darle un contexto a cada personaje, o sea, pudieron tener como su momento para poder explicar su rol dentro de la serie. Y algo que pude aprender dentro de esa serie fue que cada cosa que nosotros sintamos sería bueno expresarlas y no guardarlas, porque a pesar de que uno no sepa cómo terminarán las cosas, vale más el hecho de hacerlas que quedarse quietos. Entonces, sí, la verdad, a mí me gustaría que la serie continuara, y si hay alguna posibilidad en la que pueda continuar, yo sé que mucha gente estaría agradecida de que esta pueda seguir y que sepamos más sobre Star, sobre Marco, Mariposa, y no sé cómo sería la realidad, pero me encantaría volver a verla.
Hi, this is the company. I'm Jocelynn. I am from Mexico, and I'm here to talk about my favorite show in the whole universe, the whole world, all of them. So it will be Star versus the Forces of Evil. As you know, I'm a fan. I have my face mask, so I'm feeling like Star right now. I am Star right now. So I have to tell you that I met this series all because you two recommended me one episode. That episode was the Blood Moon Ball. It all begins my fantasies of the show, all because you two recommended me that episode, and it was so sweet. Yeah, my first thought of that video and all of the series was, wow, it's a really cute animation. All these characters are looking so cute, and wow, the story is kind of interesting. My first episode will be the first one I watch it, so it will be the Blood Moon Ball, and my favorite season will be the second one, all because I had the chance to see more of the chemistry on the show with all the characters, especially Star and Marco. The significance of the show is that inspire me that I could be an artist and a fanfic. I can do draws of the show, and tell me that I could be anything I want to be. My happiness will be to be an animator. So that's my dream, and I hope to catch that dream. But the reason I'm here and I'm talking about the show is that this and that and that I'm watching on Disney Plus. It's the final episode of the show, and sadly, it's the last thing we, the fans, see of those characters, and I really want to see more of the show, like a movie, spin-off, or a new season, or it could be continue on comics even in comics. I would like to see another season of this show, only because the answers and the questions are really hard to tell of that, and so yeah, I would like to see more of the show, and maybe on a spin-off, or maybe to be telling about how the Muni, the earth people and the monsters will collide, or how they're gonna interact with all that situation. That would be so amazing to see, and maybe you could do it on Disney Plus. It's a better chance to do it on Disney Plus, and maybe a pilot season. It could show us how this became a good thing or a bad thing, and it has to continue, cast. All the fans would like to see more of these characters and would like to solve our questions, and I have two answers. So yeah. So I'm here to tell you, Disney company, my dearest company, that I love all your shows and all that I think you're missing an opportunity to continue this show, guys. Fans would like to see more, and I'm a fan. I'm a big fan. So I would like to see more of the show, and I hope you're listening to the fans, and help to take my and our suggestions, combine in it will be a yes. Would like to continue the show. Tell the fans right now. I'd like to say I will watch this show if you continue on Disney Plus. I'm Jocelynn again, and I'm here to stand to you, and I hope to see more of the show. Thank you for listening, and I hope to see our suggestions to become a reality. Thank you, Disney Company.
Hej, nazywam się Przemysław Swidurski i pochodzę z Polski. W tym krótkim filmie, będący jednocześnie małą promocją i osobistą petycją do Disneya za stworzeniem 5. sezonu Star Butterfly, chciałbym się podzielić nieco swoimi wrażeniami, jakie krążą mi już w głowie przez dłuższy czas po obejrzeniu Star Butterfly. Do dziś nie mogę uwierzyć, że się tutaj w ogóle znalazłem i nagrywam tego typu film. A pomyśleć, że wszystko zaczęło się od jednego zdjęcia na Pinterestie. Sam serial ma dla mnie bardzo duże znaczenie. Jest, można powiedzieć, pewną odskocznią od problemów dnia codziennego. Relacje bohaterów, nie tylko tych głównych, to fenomen sam w sobie. Nigdy wcześniej nie widziałem tak realistycznego podejścia do problemów, szczególnie do wątków miłosnych, które są chyba największym plusem całego serialu i dają nam jasny przekaz, jak wyglądają prawdziwe relacje międzyludzkie oraz mówią, jak one działają i kiedy jesteśmy w nie zaangażowane. Z całą pewnością główny ship Starko to istne arcydzieło twórców. Uczucie kiełkujące od pierwszego sezonu ze wspaniałym finiszem naprawdę roni łzy i zostawia głębokie piętno na widzu. Osobiście zakochałem się w serialu z dnia na dzień I to, co najbardziej sobie w tym cenię, właśnie to pierwszo- i drugoplanowe charaktery oraz relacje między nimi tak bardzo przypominające te realne. Osobiście jestem wielbicielem Kelko. Ten ship był według mnie jedną z najlepszych rzeczy w serialu. Osobiście jako ostateczna para Starko jest definitywnie najlepsze. Ale w szczególności odcinek Lava Lake Beach oraz New Bertie i cały Battle of Muni jest jednym z moich faworytów, jeżeli chodzi o epizody. Niezbędny odcinek Lava Lake Beach, potrzebny do pokazania, że Marco przeżyła w tamtym czasie głęboki ból, a jego relacja z Kelly idealnie pokazywała i pomagała, choć częściowo się uwolnić od tego bólu, co go wzmocniło mentalnie i również było jednym ze skutków urealnienia Starko. Coś wspaniałego, jak to wszystko się rozwijało przez te wszystkie sezony. Dlatego też moim ulubionym bohaterem, z całym szacunkiem oczywiście dla Stark, która jest w tym serialu definitywnie najważniejsza, to mimo wszystko jest to Marco. Postać pięknie napisana, jego historia w kreskówce i to, jak się obchodził ze swoimi innymi przyjaciółmi. Pociągnijmy to dalej. Serial nie może stać w miejscu. Jest to zbyt duży potencjał, który nie może się tak łatwo zmarnować. Dlatego też nagrywam ten film. Pamiętajcie, razem możemy wiele. Pozdrawiam serdecznie, trzymajcie się i hej!
¿Qué significa estar versus las fuerzas del mal para mí? ¿Por dónde empezar? Estar es una ayuda en momentos, no sé si difíciles, pero sí tristes. Sacándome una sonrisa, una risa, una carcajada. Significa poder estar tiempo en algo que me gusta y como trayéndolos al mundo real a través de dibujos. Tener un tema de que hablar con mis amigos y es más, hacer nuevos amigos como Carla y otras personas, poder interactuar con ellos mediante las redes y grupos y hablar con gente de otros países que sin de no haber sido por estar nunca hubiera pasado. Yo creo que estar significa mucho más que un pasatiempo. Yo creo que estar significa unión, comprensión, aceptación a como somos, a los demás que no tenemos que jugarlos. Por ejemplo, como los monstruos eran juzgados por los humanos solo por ser monstruos, pero en realidad eran buena gente, buenas personas, y que eso es lo que tenemos que hacer, no juzgar, sino conocer al otro. Y tal vez encontremos un amigo ahí. Yo creo que estar es eso, y eso es lo que significa estar bajo las fuerzas del mal para mí.
Oi, eu sou a Isabella Denelle, do Brasil, e eu sou fã de Star versus as Forças do Mal. Eu conheci Star versus as Forças do Mal em 2019, quando eu trabalhava como babá na casa dos vizinhos. E sendo sincera, de início eu pensei que fosse ser mais um daqueles desenhos sem sentido da Disney, aqueles desenhos meio fúteis, meio bobinhos. Eu lembro que passava um episódio de manhã e um depois, à tarde. E eu assisti os dois, e no episódio da tarde, quando eu assisti o episódio da tarde, se eu não me engano, era o episódio em que mostrava o passado da Lua Butterfly, quando ela tinha a idade da Star e tinha acabado de ser coroada rainha. E eu percebi que o tom da série estava muito mais sombrio e sério. E a primeira coisa que eu pensei foi, como que aquela bobeira de hoje de manhã acabou virando isso aí? Eu preciso saber o que aconteceu. De todas as personagens, em especial, eu gosto muito da Danna. Eu gosto do jeito mais sarcástico dela, desse jeito meio dark dela. Sendo sincera, na verdade, eu tenho meio que um fraco por personagens assim nas animações. Então eu gosto muito da Danna. Ela é a minha favorita em Star vs. as Forças do Mal, sem dúvida. Eu acho que Star vs. as Forças do Mal traz várias lições sobre responsabilidade e amadurecimento, mas principalmente sobre o preconceito e a discriminação entre grupos étnicos. A série mostra o quão terrível é quando um povo tem as suas terras invadidas e é simplesmente expulso por um outro povo que nem lá morava e começa a ser tratado como marginais. América Latina é você? O desenho me inspira muito a tomar decisões conscientemente e não simplesmente deixar que a vida saia me empurrando para onde ela quiser. E também me inspira a sempre auxiliar aquelas pessoas que necessitam de amparo, seja financeiro, seja emocional principalmente. E me ensinou que cada decisão, por menor que seja, pode acabar se tornando uma corrente de mudanças. Isso seja para melhor ou para pior. E que a escolha de cada um de nós importa para o todo. Eu acho que Star vs. as Forças do Mal deveria continuar porque é uma série incrível, com personagens marcantes e lições super importantes. Apesar disso, eu gostei bastante do episódio final da 4ª temporada. Eu achei que a história foi muito bem fechada, com o fim da magia e tudo. Então, eu acho que se tiver uma continuação, ela tem que ser uma série derivada. É melhor que seja uma série derivada, um spin-off. E a história eu acho que poderia ser mais ou menos assim. Alguns anos depois de tudo isso que aconteceu em Star vs. as Forças do Mal, o nosso grupo principal, né, já um pouco mais velhos, a Star, o Marco, a Danna, o Tom, agora que todas as dimensões se fundiram, poderiam continuar tomando conta da Mariposa e da Meteora, a filha da Eclipsa e a irmãzinha do Marco. Agora elas já também mais velhas, com uns 9 ou 10 anos de idade, que essa é a idade em que as crianças já estão mais agitadas, né? Para elas irem arrumando, várias confusões e várias aventuras para eles, para os maiores terem que resolver. Uma coisa assim, mais casual, já que agora a magia não existe mais. Acho que algo mais casual seria perfeito, pra gente adentrar mais na personalidade das personagens e não tanto na batalha. E bom, é isso! Muito obrigada, Carla Monteiro, por ter me convidado para fazer esse vídeo. Eu adorei, eu quero muito que Star vs. as Forças do Mal ganhe uma continuação. E é isso, vambora! A gente envia esse vídeo e a Disney tem que ouvir os fãs, né? Eles precisam ouvir a gente precisa dessa continuação de Star vs. as Forças do Mal.
Hola, soy Cristian Román, soy fan de Star Wars Mal, soy de Bolivia y quiero decirle que yo conocí de Star Wars Mal en 2015 en noviembre en Disney XD. Conocí la serie de Star Wars Mal y me hace divertido y entonces que hacemos que queremos que salga de Star Wars Mal la 5ª temporada, de que hacer lucharlo y hacer forzarlo, porque queremos de la temporada 5 y pedimos a Disney que ayuden, que apoyarlo de Star Wars Mal y salvamos. Porque que yo dibujé ese dibujo de la varita de Star, porque yo lo amo y somos de Star Wars Mal y quiero que lo salvamos de Star y somos de Star vs. Mal. Y pongan los hashtags de We Are Star Wars Mal. Y por eso, que gracias que hacemos apoyarlo de Star y vamos a hacer algo, nunca se rinde ni abandonarlo. Por eso muchas gracias. Gracias por todo, por un mensaje de Star Wars Mal y Disney. Y también Disney TVA. Muchas gracias.
Hello, I am a friend of Star vs. the Forces of Evil. I hope to have the 5th season. I really like Star. I liked it the first time I saw her. When she is sad, I will be sad. When she is happy, I am also happy. Because I really like her. I still watch it now. I want to cry every time I watch the ending. I have been reluctant to end her. I want to watch in more of star-crossed adventures and love stories. I believe many friends are like me. Anyway, I think the 5 seasons should appear because I really like Star vs the Forces of Evil.
Oi, meu nome é Caio Cesar, sou do Brasil. Conheci a Star quando a Disney estava anunciando os novos episódios da temporada 2B. No começo achei a série bem divertida, com humor energético, e ficando madura à medida do tempo passava. O que mais me atraiu na série foram os personagens e sua complexidade, as missões surreais e divertidas, a história de mil e suas rainhas, o humor energético e maduro, e os seus antagonistas, principalmente o Ludo e o Toff. Os meus episódios favoritos são Liberdade, Independence Day, Storm the Castle, Into the World, Bom Bom the Birthday Ground, Moon the Undaunted, The Butterfly Trap, Divide and Conquered e The Monster and the Queen. E a temporada 2 é a minha temporada favorita, pois mantém aquele humor energético da primeira temporada, mas continua os temas de amadurecimento dos personagens, principalmente da Star e do Marco, e quando aprendemos mais sobre a história de Millie. Meus personagens favoritos são Star, Marco, Tom, Danna, Jack, Moon, Eclipse, Meteora, Mariposa, Kelly, Ludo, Dennis, Sapinho Famoso, Katrina e Top. Essa série me fez conhecer um monte de fãs legais, interessantes e artistas maravilhosos como majorlymad e The Vampire. Essa série é uma das que me fez querer aprender mais sobre a animação e me ensinou a ter minha própria individualidade, porque só cada um é único e insubstituível. A série devia continuar porque muitos gostam da evolução do arco dos personagens da Star e do Marco. Tem personagens cativantes e divertidos, um humor bem energético, surreal, e tem muita trama complexa para contar, pois só vimos só uma ponta do iceberg de Millie e das outras dimensões. Se eu fosse continuar, eu começaria com a quinta temporada e fecharia os arcos deixados em aberto, e depois eu faria um filme, pelo menos 1h30, partindo depois dos eventos da quinta temporada. Pode ter sim curtinhas, spin-offs com os personagens, quadrinhos, videogames, mas com novas histórias, com novas possibilidades. A ideia da quinta temporada seria que a Star, ligando com as consequências de haver destruído a magia e vendo a ameaça da aparição do Seth, e agora ela, Marco e todos seus amigos vão ter que ir e ajudar a Star a ver a situação de uma vez por todas. E durante a série, a Star vai ter que lidar com a sua forma bonita que voltou, mas agora bem perigosa, pois cada vez que ela usar, aparece um alter ego maligno alimentado por destruição. E ela tem que resolver isso rápido antes que essa forma sucumba ela a ser um ser de caos alimentado pela destruição.
Hi, I'm Madison, or most of you know me as majorlymad, and I've been watching Star ever since it came out back in 2015. I actually remember seeing the commercial for it before it even came out. After my sister's wedding, we were all sitting in a hotel and just watching TV because we were tired, and when the commercial came on, I just remember seeing it and being like, this show looks amazing, and just like all the wacky adventures. I can't wait for it to come out. And who would have known that when it came out, how much it would have changed my life. It came out when I was around middle school, but it continued airing, obviously. But I remember going from middle school to high school, which was a big part of my life. I had 2 nieces that were born during that time. I lost a lot of family members, including a pet. But just no matter what, Star was always there to cheer me up, to make the bad times good and the good times even better. And it also got me into cosplay, as you can see. Star was actually one of my very first cosplays. I did her teal dress with the little squid on it. And then last year I did a holographic witch outfit for her. And right now I'm just wearing a cute little overalls that I think fit her. But from there, I've expanded to around like 15 or 20 cosplays, and it's crazy that because of this show, I got into this great community where I'm able to travel all around the Midwest and just meet people all the time. I've made amazing friends through cosplay and also just through the Star community that I've held dearly for many years, and I still make friends every day. And it's just such an amazing show, and I loved the ending. But I wouldn't mind seeing more of her wacky adventures now that Earth and Muni are like me. But even so, it's just cool seeing how the cosplay community, artists, editors, and also just other creators or fans of the show, how they all carry on the story of Star, and the fandom keeps growing, never stops. Yeah, I can't wait to see what else everyone does.
Hej, jestem Maja i jestem z Polski. Mam 13 lat i Star Butterfly kontra Siły Zła to mój ulubiony serial. Aktualnie biorę udział w akcji We Are Star vs. The Forces of Evil oraz Star vs. The Forces of Evil Season 5. I zamierzam odpowiedzieć na kilka pytań, żeby pokazać twórcom Disney, żeby pokazać Disneyowi, jak bardzo ważny jest dla mnie ten serial. Dobrze, jak i od kiedy znasz mi ten serial? Poznałam go, ponieważ wstałam wcześniej, około 6. Zeszłam oglądać telewizję i po prostu Star leciała na Disney Channel, które akurat było włączone. Zaczęłam to oglądać, bo znam, że ma fajny styl animacji i przyciągnęło mnie to. Potem zaczęłam to oglądać codziennie, nagrywać te odcinki, oglądać z tego różne filmy, fanfiki czytać i tak dalej. Co przyciągnęło Cię do serialu i co uczyniło Cię fanem? Charakter postaci, charakter Star, charakter Marco, charakter Toma, charakter Jenny i tak dalej. Oraz styl animacji jest ładny, bardzo. Oraz fabuła, to, że to się dzieje w innym wymiarze, tak jakby, że jest tam wspomniane o magii, bo magia jest fajna. Jakie były Twoje pierwsze myśli? Że ten serial jest spoko po prostu, bo to był jeden z pierwszych seriali, w który się wciągnęłam i że ten serial jest po prostu fajny i że zamierzałem go dalej oglądać. Ulubiona postać, którą czujesz się utożsamiony? Na 100% Star. Star ma cudowny charakter, jest miła dla innych i
trochę się z nią utożsamiam. Jaką wartość ma dla Ciebie ta seria? Jest dla mnie mega ważna, bo odmieniło to w połowie moje życie. Gdy zaczęłam robić z tego edity na Instagram, to poznałam wielu ludzi, którzy są fajni i dzisiaj z nimi piszę na Instagramie. Co Cię zainspirowało? Chyba podejście Star do ludzi. To, że nieważne czy ktoś ją lubi, to ona i tak lubi tego kogoś. Czego się nauczyłeś? Tego, żeby nie oceniać ludzi po okładce i tego, że wszyscy są równi. Dlaczego Star vs. The Forces of Evil powinno być kontynuowane i jak chciałbyś, aby było kontynuowane? Jest to super seria i na pewno nie tylko dla mnie, ale i dla wszystkich fanów Star Butterfly na całym świecie. Według mnie powinno być kontynuowane sezonem 5 albo filmem. Jaki byłby główny wątek? Jeśli byłby to sezon 5, chciałabym, żeby było to o tym, jak ludzie przyzwyczajają się do życia z minionami i na odwrót. O tym, jak Muni się połączyło z Ziemią po prostu. A jeśli byłby to film, to o przyszłości życia serii Marco. Jakby wyglądało życie Star i Marco za tam 10-15 lat. Dziękuję za obejrzenie. Proszę o kontynuację.
Hola señor Karim Mars y señor Eric Coleman, mi nombre es Carla Montoro, soy de Lima, Perú y soy la organizadora de este evento que hemos hecho con los fans llamado Are SVTFOE, que consta de contar nuestras experiencias con la serie, recordar buenos momentos a lo largo de estos años con el fandom, como las convenciones que tuvimos con el Grip, pero lo más importante, contar por qué esta serie es tan importante para nosotros y por qué debe de continuar. La manera en cómo conocí la serie es algo surrealista, si podría llamarlo así. En 2016, un día llegando de la escuela, tomé una siesta mientras esperaba a mi papá para almorzar juntos. Y dentro de ese sueño veía cosas extrañas, como un ser que parecía un búho, pero a la vez un pájaro. Brillos, escarchas, estrellas y magia. Se oía un sonido de fondo que al principio no podía entender de dónde provenía, pero ahora que lo recuerdo, sonaba igual al de un tintineo. Todo pasaba tan deprisa que no podía distinguir con claridad, salvo por dos piernas que veía correr. Veía a dos chicos de la cintura para abajo corriendo. Una tenía botas y el otro tenía zapatillas. De fondo estaba casi todo oscuro, o es así como yo lo recuerdo. Pero después de todo ese remolino de sueños raros, finalmente me desperté. Al año siguiente en Noticias apareció un reportaje sobre un episodio de la serie debido al escándalo, entre comillas, por el beso gay en el episodio Just Friends. Esa fue la primera vez que vi la serie en pantalla, y mientras miraba un poco del capítulo en televisión, sentía como si algo me atrajera de allí, como si ya hubiera conocido la serie tanto así que no me podía despegar de mi sitio. Pero no fue hasta meses después que YouTube se volvió loco y me recomendaba un montón de videos de Star vs. Las Fuerzas del Mal. La plataforma te recomienda videos de acuerdo a lo que hayas visto anteriormente, pero yo ni siquiera había buscado eso. Y la cosa es que no solo era una vez al día, sino que me recomendaba casi todo el día, episodios y videos que ni siquiera conocía. Y tras muchos intentos y muchos spam de YouTube, me decidí finalmente un día por mirar uno de esos videos. Y no era en sí un capítulo, más bien fue un video de un cómic que no conozco su nombre. Y al ver esto pensé que este dibujo trataba de una serie de cómics. Miré varios de los videos que allí estaban y me parecía agradable la paleta de colores. Los personajes también, pero aún no estaba del todo convencida en profundizar en esta caricatura. Sin embargo, al día siguiente, una prima que mira casi todas las caricaturas que salgan en este mundo, me mencionó sobre esta serie y le pregunté si era buena. Y lo único que me respondió fue, velo por ti misma y me dices qué te pareció. Entonces me animé y empecé a ver episodios. El primero que vi fue Star Crushed, en la parte final cuando Star regresa a Muni, y ya que no entendía lo que pasaba estaba como, ¿pero qué rayos pasó aquí? Tengo que verla desde el comienzo. Busqué otros y entonces me topé con el capítulo de Just Friends, y allí recordé, oh cierto, esto apareció en televisión. Con razón sentía como si ya lo conocía, pero es extraño, porque recién estoy conociendo la serie. Seguí buscando información por Google y Facebook y encontré muchos fanarts increíbles de la serie. Imágenes bonitas, me dije, wow, qué bellos diseños. Ojalá hubiese conocido la serie desde un principio. Pero en ese momento encuentro un póster que anunciaba el estreno de una especial película para la tercera temporada llamado La Batalla por Muni, que se estrenaría el 15 de julio. Me fijé en el calendario y me di cuenta que dentro de 4 semanas sería el estreno. Me alegré de no haber llegado tarde y eso fue más que nada el mayor impulso para ver la serie, porque si bien no conocía aún nada, me atrajo bastante. Y desde el día siguiente miré la serie desde el primer capítulo. Mis primeros pensamientos sobre la serie fue, qué largo es el título. No es como de esos títulos cortos, este era uno especial. Y además de recién estar conociendo a Star, era también mi primera vez conociendo las redes sociales e interactuando con personas de otros lugares. Para enterarme de todo lo nuevo, me uní por primera vez a páginas y grupos y veía imágenes que compartían, que eran tipo medio extraños, y pensaba, ¿esto también se ve en la serie? Pero ya luego descubrí que eran de fans con un tornillo zafado. Al inicio también creía que Star era una niña humana, hasta que leí la sinopsis y vi el primer episodio. Pensaba que sus corazones en las mejillas eran rubor que ella se maquillaba de esa forma. Sin embargo, uno de los principales pensamientos que tuve fue, me encanta esta serie, pero no creo considerarla como mi favorita. Será una de entre muchas que apreciaré, el cual estoy tan agradecida de haberme equivocado. Sí, subestimé a la princesa rebelde. Tras mirar muchos episodios y comprender lo que es la trama de Star versus las fuerzas del mal, lo que completamente me atrajo hasta la sangre, los huesos y el alma fue el tema de la magia, ya que nos presentaban un concepto sobre ella que si caía en manos equivocadas, el universo de la magia podría ser destruida, podría corromperse, y por lo tanto Star tenía que aprender a utilizar la varita y manejar la magia. Además de que se nos presentaron a personajes que mostraban un peligro para la magia, como Toffee y Ludo. En la segunda temporada luego se nos muestra a Eclipsa como un personaje que claramente podría desatar todo un caos al lado de Toffee. Podría llegar un punto en que la magia cayera bajo las fuerzas del mal y entonces veríamos a personajes buenos siendo influenciados por el mal, cometiendo atrocidades, y en el que Star tendría que luchar contra eso. Aún no se estrenaba la batalla por Muni, pero esta era la sensación que me transmitía la serie. Para nombrar mis episodios favoritos tuve que hacer una lista. Son bastantes, pero aquí va. Star llega a la Tierra, el baile de la luna roja, tiempo congelado, mi huertad, hechizos del sueño, la fiesta de Britney, ataque al castillo, Mr. Candle se preocupa, tarjeta de regalo, amigo enemigo, corriendo con tijeras, Baby, Star sobre ruedas, la niñera Star, Salchiduendes, dentro de la varita, la balada de Star, verdad o castigo, Estar enamorada, Descansa en pudín, el club del desaire, peligro extraño, playa del lago de lava, ponimonio, día del tronco, la trampa butterfly, amigos de cabina, divide y conquista, escapando de la gente de Pai, traje de baño, la maldición de la luna roja, aunque este es uno de los que más lloré, la lección de Meteora, el monstruo y la reina, coro maíz nación, día de playa, mamá Star y aquí para ayudar. Les dije que serían bastantes. Y para mi temporada favorita es muy difícil de escoger porque cada uno tiene algo especial, pero tras un duro análisis de episodio por episodio, diría que mi temporada favorita es la tercera, Pues a partir de aquí vemos cómo Star empieza a mostrar sus capacidades para afrontar situaciones difíciles y busca profundizar en la historia de su familia, saber por qué esa discriminación hacia los monstruos, si hay personajes que tienen características similares pero no son considerados como tal. Al final, nos demuestran que un verdadero villano o monstruo no necesariamente tiene que tener cola, colmillos o cuernos. Estos se ven reflejados también a través de seres despiadados, seres corruptos, como la alta comisión de la magia. Y a partir de esta temporada es que vemos a Star de una manera más madura, sin dejar de lado su personalidad alegre y alocada, lo que causa admiración entre los habitantes por buscar ese lazo y fin al desprecio entre humanos y monstruos. Mis personajes favoritos son Star, Marco, Tom, Eclipsa, Glossaryk, Skywine, Globgor y Yana. Y si me identifico con alguno diría que con Star, ya que la subestimaron por las cosas que creyeron que no podría hacer. No la creían capaz. En este punto es el momento en que me abro para contar el valor significativo que tiene Star para mí. Y es que cuando era pequeña sufrí de bullying, lo que generó en mí una total inseguridad, timidez, ansiedad y una gran baja autoestima. No era capaz siquiera de formular una palabra ante personas mayores que yo o expresarme libremente. Pasé por muchos problemas personales a lo largo de mi adolescencia y tuve momentos bastante difíciles. Y esta serie fue lo que me impulsó a cambiar varios aspectos de mí misma. Me dio la fuerza para realizar cosas que jamás habría hecho. Me levantó el ánimo. Fue como esa luz al final del túnel. Gracias a esta serie fue que pude aprender más sobre el manejo del inglés y a confrontar mi timidez de hablar en público y expresarme. Me dio la inspiración de luchar y no rendirme por alcanzar mis sueños. Me inspiró a escribir y también dibujar. No he mostrado mis trabajos aún, pero mientras miraba la serie escribía y dibujaba bastante. Y lo llamo inspiración porque jamás he tomado una clase de dibujo ni he mirado tutoriales. Simplemente dibujaba lo que saliera de mi cabeza y cómo lo percibía. Siempre quería dibujar algo tal cual lo veía, pero ¿por qué copiarlo si podía darle mis propios toques? Así que agarraba una imagen referencial y luego lo diseñaba a mi manera. Pero principalmente a lo que me inspiró es a siempre afrontar mis problemas, a nunca rendirme y a expresar mis emociones. A veces no sabemos si algo terminará bien o no, y por temor a salir dañados es que decidimos quedarnos quietos, decidimos no hacerlo. Reprimimos nuestros sentimientos, nos lo guardamos o hacemos en cuenta que ni siquiera existen realmente. Y es que las emociones son como un resorte. Mientras más lo intentes de aplastar y achicar, más grande y fuerte será este salto que dará el resorte. Porque en algún momento no podrás aplastarlo más. La vida no sería llamada de esta manera si no tuviéramos problemas ni nos equivocáramos. No tendría sentido vivir una vida en la que todo saliera perfecto. No seríamos capaces de empatizar con los problemas de otras personas. En cambio, si nos permitiéramos equivocarnos y aprender nuestros errores, si nos permitiéramos sentirnos mal y expresar nuestras emociones, no solo liberaríamos una carga, también aprenderíamos que llorar no es una debilidad. Aprenderíamos a cómo manejar nuestras emociones. No importa si sale bien o no, lo importante es que lo has intentado y lo podrás volver a intentar. Y en esta ocasión, probablemente ya lo hagas mejor. Pero sobre todo, lo que ganarás aquí es un aprendizaje por cada error que hayas cometido. No importa cuántos problemas hayas tenido, lo importante es cuánto hayas aprendido de cada uno. Me enseñó a desenvolverme mejor y hablar con más fluidez sin temor de equivocarme, a indagar, hacer deep down, a no juzgar la portada del libro, y algo que a todos nos ha enseñado es sin duda que no importa cómo sea nuestros gustos o nuestra personalidad, podemos ser alocados, ser hiperactivos o nos puede gustar una cosa y a la vez otra. Es decir, no hay un estereotipo de persona. No porque te guste el rock significa que no te gustaría el color rosa, o que si eres una persona seria no te podría gustar ir a fiestas. En este caso no significa que porque te gusta enfrentarte contra monstruos y buscar problemas, significa que no puedas dar la cara ante situaciones difíciles. Lo importante es cómo tú los vayas a enfrentar, tu madurez emocional. Y las personas de quienes menos esperamos a veces son quienes terminan haciendo un gran cambio. Debe continuar porque es una serie que nos ha llenado de muchos momentos divertidos, grandiosos. Nos ha enseñado e inspirado. Nos ha hecho sentir cosas que no hemos sentido antes. Como por ejemplo, cuando se acercaba el domingo y todos ansiosos formulábamos nuestras teorías y analizábamos debajo de cada mínima pista. Era algo grandioso que nos transmitía cada personaje y cada episodio. Y principalmente porque hay mucho material por desarrollar en esta serie. Ahora que Muni y la Tierra se han unido, ¿cómo serán las reacciones de los humanos hacia los habitantes de Muni? ¿Lo tomarán con calma o habrán prejuicios que Star y Marco deberán romper? Quiero saber si Mina retomará su venganza contra todos, pero en esta ocasión yéndose por el lado de la tecnología. Y sepamos si realmente los mimanos provienen de los humanos. Si esto es así, es un poco turbio profundizar en el tema de cómo hicieron para procrear a más seres. ¿Tuvieron que unirse humanos con monstruos? Creo que hay tanto material por desarrollarse que se podría hacer un poco de cada uno. Una quinta temporada, una especial así como la batalla por Muni, en que veamos un enfrentamiento entre Mina y los habitantes de Ernie, que es así como llamamos a esta fusión de dimensiones. Y los humanos tendrían que unirse con ellos para derrotar a Mina. Un spin-off de Mariposa y Meteora, o los tiempos de Marco en la Neversong, los tiempos de Eclipsa, o la vida de cada reina, hasta incluso un what if de cómo sería la serie en universos alternos. Sí, ¿por qué no? Marvel tiene mucho de esto. La pregunta principal aquí es ¿qué sucederá con la vida de cada uno en esta nueva dimensión? Algo que no me deja dormir por las noches. Sin embargo, si tengo que elegir solo uno, escogería una quinta temporada, que cerraría con todas las dudas que hemos tenido a lo largo de la serie. Ver más de nuestros personajes tan queridos, Star y Marco, y tener esa certeza de que todo estará bien. Como dice Daron, está en el ADN resolver un problema, pero crear otro. Y sé que a lo largo de la serie se presentarán nuevas fuerzas del mal, los cuales Star y Marco deberán enfrentarse. Porque las fuerzas del mal no son solamente los villanos o los monstruos, sino que envuelve a los problemas a los cuales nos enfrentamos diariamente, como las injusticias, las deudas, la corrupción, peligros, flojera, pero tener la certeza de que todo estará bien y con un final de una serie que recordaremos para toda nuestra vida hasta que seamos viejitos, lo llevaremos en nuestros corazones para siempre, Disney. Gracias por permitir la producción de esta asombrosa serie llamada Star vs. las Fuerzas del Mal.
Hola amigos y amigas de Star vs. la Fuerza del Mal. Mi nombre es Jefferson Hermoza. Vivo en Lima, Perú. Tengo 22 años. Y yo quiero decir que quiero una quinta temporada o película de esta serie para el futuro de Star y Marco. En verdad, en el episodio de cabina de fotos, ahí donde Star y Marco se ha besado y luego Marco tenía las mejillas de la luna creciente. Y gracias a una vocecita de inglés de Ale Hirsch, el creador de Gravity Falls, del Ben Fontaine. Y quiero que Marco Díaz que tenga nuevos atuendos de rey, de príncipe, de guardián y de caballero. Así que vamos por la quinta temporada. Nos vemos.
I first watched Star vs. the Forces of Evil in July 2020, and I'm really glad I did. You see, I've always been interested in animation, and over the past couple of years I've had the idea of becoming an artist so I can work in animation. I've had this idea before I watched the show, but it was this show, Star vs., that really pushed me towards achieving this dream. An art contest for this account was actually the first serious drawing I've done outside of school, and my artistic skills have only taken off from there. So yeah, Star is responsible for me being where I am today. Star also led me to being more serious in video making. While I'm currently on a video making break thanks to college, I really enjoyed making those videos, and I know a lot of people enjoyed watching them, and I hope to make more one day. There are lots of varying opinions on the finale, but I think one thing most of us can agree on is that there's lots of magical adventures that can still be told. There are several ways a potential continuation can be done. You can have a direct continuation, continuing right where the main series left off. You can have a Meteor and Mariposa series. You can have an animated adaptation of the Book of Spells. You can have an anthology, not unlike Adventure Time Distant Lands, with each episode focusing on a different character. There are so many ways it can be done. Like I said before, I definitely wouldn't be the artist I am today without this show, and I'm sure plenty of others can say the same. So it would mean a lot to us if Disney brings the show back. Star vs. the Force of Evil is magical because it has great characters and great animation, and it teaches important lessons, and in general just makes the world a more magical place. Come on, Disney. Let's continue Star's journey.
Project that everybody and not everybody, but a lot of people in the fandom are working on, and I just wanted to share what Star Wars: The Force of Evil meant to me and why it is one of my favorite shows. I'm going to share some of the inspirations it has given me. First, I want to share that it has inspired me to draw the art that I have made, and you can see I'm wearing this shirt. This is a shirt that I have created. I got it off of TeePublic. It inspired me to draw the art that I have made. It inspired me to be a better person. I mean, I wasn't a bad person back then, but it just made me feel a little better as a person that anyone can, And it also inspired me to look at the silver lining in things, which, whenever a bad thing happens, I just look at the bright side of it. Like, what it has taught me is it has taught me that you can't judge a book by its cover, and I'm talking about Star. In the very first episode, they made it seem like Star is a magic crazy person who would love, or power crazy person who loves to control things and have, do power over everything. I think that Star seemed like a power crazy person who wanted, to control things and do whatever with their magic. And I'm like, okay, because the first time I seen it was the very first time it was on Disney XD, I believe, and it was just after it debuted. It was like a month or two after it debuted. And I think it was like February or March. And I saw the first episode. I'm like, oh, this seems like an okay show. Like, Star seems really, really weird. But I watched another episode. I'm like, oh my god, Star is really cute. So, and then I've seen more episodes. I'm like, it is a really great show. Like, so I'm talking about Star, and Star at the beginning didn't seem like the sweet, caring, adorable girl she turned out to be, and that's true. She did turn out to be, sweet, caring, and adorable. That's like the main reason that I love her. I mean, she's not as sweet as the other characters. Like, she's not as sweet as Marco, but she's still very sweet. Marco is probably the sweetest character. But Star is my favorite because she's really cute. And this is the custom plush that I got made last year. Is it last year? Yeah, it was last year. It's $180 total. It was 180 or 160. I think it was 160. It came out of Germany. The woman who made it is German, and it was really nice. I put a different bow on her because I'm like, because originally I wanted to make it a Hello Kitty style because Hello Kitty is one of my favorite things, and I gave her a little Hello Kitty dress, and it's supposed to be a Hello Kitty bow, but the bow didn't look like a Hello Kitty bow, so I took a Hello Kitty bow from a pair of my old slippers and sewed it onto her hair. So, I did a little bit of work to it. Other than that, I did sew up a couple more things. I had to reattach her ear. Not this ear, but this ear. I reattached this ear over here because it just came off. But whatever. Yeah. And this is the most expensive thing that I have. The most expensive plush that I have. At $160, and that included shipping. It took about 2 months for her to make it, which isn't terrible, and it's really great quality. Like, everything's embroidered. It's really soft. Even her hair is like stuffed. Her hair is filled up with polyfill, and I really love it. And if you can, like I said, I'm wearing this shirt of the Star with Hello Kitty style, and I just thought Hello Kitty things. And I just thought it was really cute. So I'm like, I'm gonna buy one. I really love it. Anyways, the other thing it taught me was not everyone is as evil or as bad as everyone thinks. And I'm talking about Eclipsa. I'm not a big fan of Eclipsa, but I like her. She is sweet. She seems sweet. In one of the later episodes she was in. When she was introduced, I thought, oh my god, she's evil, she's mean, she's evil, she's got dark magic, but, she did the dark magic thing by mistake, apparently. I don't know how true that is, because no one really said anything about it, but, and I do like Eclipsa, though. She is pretty cool. As for the encouragement thing, it encouraged me to make some amazing friends. Who I still talk to today, and I am in the Star Versus group chat on Twitter, who was moderated by Save Star Versus the Forces of Evil, who is putting on this entire collaboration thing, and yeah. So, anyways, Star Versus has helped me get through some tough times in my life. And I'm talking mainly about my depression and anxiety. Being on the autism spectrum has, a lot that comes with it. Like, the main things that come with it is anxiety, OCD, and I, for one, have very impaired motor skills. Like, in fact, I'm not able to drive a car. I mean, I've tried before to crash into a tree in the yard, but that's different. I've never taken a road test. I've never taken driver's training, so I just don't feel comfortable driving a car, so I just never pursued it. But and I was going through a tough time being depressed. After starting to watch Adventure Time, I'm like, I want to probably check out some other shows. And I saw this show, and I'm like, this show looks really great. And I kind of got into it, and I'm like, it's cute, It's like the cutest and one of the most wholesome cartoons that Disney has. It just gave me something to look forward to when I was really lonely and really sad. This was before I met my ex, so I was just going through a really bad time with my parents splitting up and the family drama that we had going on, and a lot of I had a lot of stuff going on. I was kind of living by myself. I didn't have really any support, both either emotionally or mentally or physically. And just not that nobody cared, because people did care. Just people just didn't have the ability to, because they were dealing with other stuff. It had a huge impact on my life. It really did. And it gave me something to talk about with some of my other friends. It's like I said, it's the cutest and the most wholesome Disney show, a show that Disney picked up. And why I say that is because I think that Darren pitched it to Cartoon Network first, and Cartoon Network didn't greenlight it. So I'm glad Disney greenlit it, because if Cartoon Network greenlit it, it would have been kind of a shit show. Because the more of the modern cartoons, I'm not talking about Adventure Time, but I won't mention anything because I don't want to offend any other fandom. I do believe that all of them are the best cartoons ever, because they're well written. The characters are great. The designs are great. They're all cute. They're all really nice. They're wholesome. They're all sweet, and they're all just really great. I'd be really happy and joyful to see more of it in the future, whether it would be a movie or a Disney Plus exclusive content, or a Disney Plus movie. If I'm talking about a theatrical movie, not like a TV movie like what they did with Battle for Muni. That was great too, but it was more. I don't know what you'd call that. And like I've already said, I started watching it shortly after it debuted, around February or March of 2015. It's very important to me because it changed me in so many ways as a person, and the style of voices, writing, just everything about it is amazing in every way. And it really is. Like, you'd have to not just watch 1 or 2 or 3 episodes. You'd have to watch an entire season to get how it is, and to learn about how great a show can be. You'd have to really dive deep into the series or into a season to get a feel of whether you'd like it or not. And 9 out of 10 times with something like that, you would find something that you genuinely love. I've already said, I know there was already a TV movie, but it would be really great to see a theatrical or a Disney Plus exclusive for it. What the main plot should be about everyone's lives after the ending, and just how they go about their lives, and just everybody, just how everybody is. Like, even Janet and Tom, like, to see their relationship, extend out, to see how they do, because I'm pretty sure Jana and Tom are a couple, or like to be a couple, or whatever. Because the cool thing about Jana and Tom is Jana genuinely loves Tom, because Jana just is into that type of shit. She just, I don't know. I don't think it's weird. I do think it's cool that Jana is like that. Jana is a really cool character. I do like her. She's cute. She's funny. She can be sweet. Just like how she said something about how she is glad that she's friends with Marco or something. I don't remember her exact words, but it was the episode toward the end of the series where she was laying in a hospital bed and she faked her own death just to get attention. That was pretty funny. That was kind of out of the box or out of line for her, but or over the edge, I should say, for her. But she's still cool. My favorite episodes. I have quite a few favorite episodes. My favorite episodes are the very first one, Star Comes to Earth. It was just a really cute episode. The beginning, like I've said already, in the very beginning of the first episode, Star seemed like a power crazy magic user that she just wanted to, do whatever the heck she wanted with it. Um, it turned into more of a cute episode. Like it was just, and I remember how, like, I love how, like, there was the one scene where she was at the drinking fountain trying to drink the water from it, and she was, like, gnawing on the drinking fountain. It was silly. And then the part where she was in the office flicking the light switch, and she goes, "You said there was no magic on Earth." Like, that's silly. That's adorably silly. So, yeah, the first episode was, and toward the very end, Star was sitting at the on the couch with Marco's parents, and she goes, and then she says something like, where she was sitting at the couch with Marco's parents, and then she goes, "I didn't know that these were your parents. I just thought everyone's last name on Earth was Diaz." And I'm like, that's weird and specific, but okay. Um, my second favorite would be Cheer Up Star. It was wholesome. It was wholesome because Star did everything she could to cheer up Marco when he was feeling sad, and then Marcos returned the favor to her and tried to cheer her up, and that's why they ended up fighting the monsters. It was just, I don't know. Fortune cookies were it was a really wholesome episode too, because I do like. I think it's weird. I thought it was weird at first, but I liked the idea that one of the monsters took a fortune and put it in the cookie and said something like, "Love conquers all" or something, and Star took that to heart. And she just started giving everybody hugs, and even the one monster's like, "I know we're supposed to be fighting her, but I really needed this right now." That was just a really wholesome episode. Banagic Incident was a silly, a silly, adorable episode. Um, Star really, really genuinely wanted the Banagic wand because she thought it was two reasons. She loves bananas and ice cream, and she genuinely thought it was a magic wand, which it wasn't. But she wanted to see it. She went through a whole lot to get that, and everybody was mad at her. And until the very end, everybody's like, "Yeah, we'll have some Banagic ice cream or whatever to help us," and stuff. I don't know. Marco wouldn't help her because he needed to get to karate class. So, Star on Wheels was another wholesome episode because Marco was teaching her how to ride a bike, and it was funny. It was really funny. It was funny. It was more. Yeah, it was more funny than anything else because I too love the invisible goats. Who came up with that? I have no idea, but it was so funny. And then there's Star versus Echo Creek. Not entirely my favorite episode, but the very beginning where Star was putting a mound of sugar on her burrito, it was just cute. She's just like like cracked out on sugar. It was funny. And then Star is like, he's like, "I have no rules" or something, and because Marco was like, you shouldn't put sugar on your burrito, and then I don't know, it's just funny. The episode was weird, but at the very end, it was heartwarming because Marco thought he lost her and put up flyers everywhere, and even at the very end of the episode, he was sitting at the police station with a cup of hot chocolate and a blanket. And or no, Star was sitting there with a blanket. Marco's like, "Hey, I found you," and he actually was sleeping when they found her, but it was good. Star sitting was just a really, really, really cute episode. Um, it was really cute because, I mean, they were babysitting the tadpole, Buff Frog's tadpoles. And, I mean, Buff Frog at that time was into some doing weird shit, whatever he's doing. Stealing corn or whatever it was, I don't remember exactly what it was, but, it was a cute episode because they were babysitting and they were, Star's like, I want to boop it, and she booped one of them and they all started croaking. And then, I love how she, put the, birthday cake mixing in the bottles for them, and they all, threw it up. It was kind of funny. The birthday cake mix was cute, but, they threw it up. It was kind of funny. But it was overall a really cute episode. The episode Baby with the little cat, the little kitten, who is the magic evaluator, or whatever they call him. It was a really cute episode. It was weird, yes, but there were weirder episodes. But it was still really cute. Yeah, Baby was so adorable, and it reminded me a lot of Hello Kitty because just the way it is, the way she talked, the way she looked. Scent of a Hoodie was a cute episode too. It was really cute. It was because, well, Star missed Marco. He was on Muni, I think. He was on Muni doing something, and Star was back at their house in Echo Creek, and she took one of his hoodies, and because she liked the scent of it, and she didn't want to get it washed because, well, she loves Marco and she wanted the scent to stick, so she didn't want to get it washed. And even Ponyhead's like, you need to get it washed, and the Royal Washer, whatever the heck his name is, he's like, you need to wash this, it stinks really bad. So at the end of the episode, they ended up getting it washed, and she's like, it smells great, and she ended up returning it to Marco. I don't remember Marco was on Earth, she was in Muni. Alright, and then Stump Day. Stump Day was cute, mainly because it was Christmas themed, and it was just the whole, I don't know, it was kind of weird, and it was I do love the part where Marco was trying to make Tom jealous or whatever, and saying, because it was Star's birthday too, and they're like, Marco was telling Tom something like, you didn't even get her a birthday present, and he goes, you're supposed to be her boyfriend. Everybody's like, oh shit. It was a good episode. I still liked it. Beach Day was really cute, because of the picture that, who gave it to her? I can't remember who gave her that picture. I think it was Father Time that gave her that picture in that one episode. But Beach Day was a cute episode. I liked it a lot. It was quite wholesome. It was kind of funny. Here to Help is my last favorite episode. Because, and it's my favorite episode, my last favorite episode, and I have it on this list because it was the episode that Starco became canon, and that they're like, I love you, Marco, I love you too, Star, and they both kissed, and then, yeah, I mean, that's not the first time they kissed in Booth Buddies, but Booth Buddies was such an awkward episode. I kind of liked it, but not really. Alright, well, that is it for everything that I loved about Star vs. the Forces of Evil, and I do want to end it on saying this note, or saying this, I should say, that my ending, we are Star vs. the Forces of Evil. We want more. We want more merchandise, for sure, because, I mean, you know, there's only a couple things, like, I mean, this shirt obviously isn't official because it's something I created, but there's a few shirts on Amazon. I know there's a tank top that I bought from Amazon that has Star on it, and she's like got the little rainbow with her wand. There's the Funkos. There's the official Star plush. There's a few items on the Disney Shop site, and there was an official Marco plush planned, but they never came out with it for some reason. Oh, and then there's the magic journals or whatever. But that's it. That's it. There's a couple of shirts from Hot Topic, which Hot Topic doesn't have anymore. Hasn't had any. There's no show socks, which I have 2 pairs of. I lost the other pairs, but I have the Star and the Marco pairs of them, and that's it. I know there's posters. I know there's quite a few things, but not a lot. And I would definitely love to see more. Like an official Marco plush would be incredibly nice. Stickers, even other than, I mean, there are the Russian stickers, which are like 3D puffy stickers. They're cute, but like I want like more designs, you know. Shirts. I don't care what it is. I just want to see more stuff. Even a mouse pad. You know, I would. Actually, there are mouse pads on the Shop Disney site, but I would like to see a lot more merchandise. I really would. And again, we are Star vs. the Forces of Evil, and I have been Austin for All Tuned Up, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys later.
Hi, I'm Danna and I am from Mexico. I met the show in 2015 in its premiere. When I saw, the first thing I thought was good she was going to be was love at first sight. I was cute attracted to its plot. I love it. My favorite episodes are Deep Dave, Bon Bon the Birthday Clown, The Blood Moon Ball, Boot Buddies, and Mama Star. I feel identified with Jana, Star, and Marco. This series stole a part of my heart, or you could say my heart. I love it. It inspired me to be a cheerleader and taught me teenage stuff. I think it's continuous since I've just want to see the relationship of Star and Marco. It's like, and I would like to be through another season. I think the main plot will be what will happen when the Earth and Muni combine. For example, who stay with the throne? That's existential doubt for me. Well, that's it. I hope Star vs. the Forces of Evil continues. See you! Bye.
Hello everyone, Lord Victorino here. Today I have decided to tackle a controversial topic of what was the real problem with Star versus the Forces of Evil. My opinion might even surprise you. Well, I have heard some opinions on this subject, such as the problem with Star versus the Forces of Evil was it had too much filler. It had too much shipping. It had a flawed romance. Yada, yada, yada. Well, we can agree to disagree. So I'm not going to make any arguments against any of these opinions. But I have also heard some other opinions on this subject, such as the problem with Star versus the Forces of Evil was it was due to lazy writing. It was rushed. It needed to be fixed. Here's how I could have done it much better myself. Yada, yada, yada. I find these quite insulting. So I will argue against these opinions, though. For it is one thing to critique or to criticize an episode, a season, or even the Star versus the Forces of Evil series as a whole. But it's a whole other thing to critique or to criticize Darren Nefsey and her crew personally, just based on these types of ambiguous opinions without any real true facts to back them up with. Look, Darren Nefsey and her crew worked very hard on this show, and doing an animated series takes people, time, and money. They had a budget, timetables, and many animated episodes in many different stages of production at any given time. What we see is the finished product, but what we don't see is all the hard work behind the scenes that goes into making it. And that's not counting on any possible problems that might have arose during production, such as having to make last-minute changes for any number of reasons, animation and production errors that needed to be fixed, scheduling issues, and the list probably goes on. And these type of problems can cost both time and money, both of which were very limited to them. So I can assure you that Darren Nefsey and her crew were not lazy by any means, writing or otherwise. And they were only rushed because of deadlines beyond their control. And they did the best work that they were able to do with what they were given. Also be aware that even though most of these episodes seem to have been made to be shown on a weekly basis for the most part, they had no actual control over when any of these episodes actually aired. It be weekly, 2 per week, daily, or even back to back. Darren Nefsey told the story she wanted to tell. And just because an episode or the show in general had not gone the way you thought it should have gone, no one has any right to say that it needed to be fixed or that they could have done it any better themselves. Period. Now with that out of the way, I would like to give my own personal thoughts on how I perceived Star versus the Forces of Evil. You see, I tried to think of Star versus Forces of Evil just like many other past Disney animated series. I thought I knew what Star versus the Forces of Evil was all about, where it was going, and I even thought I knew how it might end. And there was times I didn't know what to think. From my head and my heart disagreed. I thought I knew how I felt about something, but this has changed. For I came to realize that this show was not just different, it was different. It wasn't like comparing apples to strawberries, it was more like comparing apples to strawberry goblin dogs. For I wanted answers. I wanted the truth. I thought I could handle the truth about magic, the multiverse, and everything. So much so, I even came up with my own Star versus the Forces of Evil theories. I also thought I knew what the main plot arc of Star versus the Forces of Evil was all about. But I had it all wrong. And I think there might be others out there that may have felt the way that I once did, and maybe even still do. And that was, the truth be told, Toffee was indeed right about all of it from the very beginning. Oh no, I'm not talking about how magic needed to be destroyed. Oh, no. It was that love is always the answer. Surprise! For I came to realize that the main plot arc of Star versus the Forces of Evil was actually the love story of Star Butterfly, a magical princess from another dimension of Muni, and Marco Ubaldo Diaz, the safe kid from Echo Creek of Earth, and how they fell in love. All the other plot arcs were just the ends to the means. A lot did change, but the most important thing, still the same. Star versus the Forces of Evil was always about the relationship between Star and Marco from the very beginning all the way to the very end. Speaking of which, I think it's about time I brought up the giant invisible goat in the room. That's right, the season 4 finale, Cleaved. This was where Star put her plan into motion by destroying the magic and to defeat Mina and to save her friends and others from an untimely death. But this also meant that magic would put Star and Marco back where they belonged. Star back on Muni and Marco back in Echo Creek on Earth, where Star and Marco would never be able to be together ever again. Now, Star and Marco did manage to be together one last time in the realm of magic, hugging each other in a warm embrace, not knowing what would actually happen to them. And even though Star's plan did work, where Mina was defeated, and Star's friends and others were saved from their untimely death, both Star and Marco were indeed separated, Star ending up back on Muni, and Marco back in Echo Creek on Earth. But in a weird and wild twist of fate, Muni and Echo Creek were cleaved together, which also brought Star and Marco back together at the very end too, where they just gave each other a simple greeting with a hey and a hi, while staring into each other's eyes. Roll credits. Like myself, many of you may have wondered, why didn't Star and Marco kiss or even hug once again? Well, do you know what eyes represent? They are said to be the windows into the very soul. So, in my opinion, because of all the trials and tribulations they had gone through, I believe that Star and Marco were probably still in complete shock and awe that they actually ended up back together with each other once again after all, and were just happy to see each other. Because for them, at that time, nothing else mattered. For with or without magic, they belonged together. Yet to me, it wasn't this ending that mattered most of all. It was the journey, you know. For this reason, I don't believe any of that was the real problem with Star versus the Force of Evil. But with that said, I do believe that the real problem did involve Darren Nefsey and her crew after all. And it comes with a heavy heart to say this, but Darren Nefsey and her crew were just way too talented and became overachievers. For Star vs. the Force of Evil took on a life all its own. They created this incredible multiverse with vast amounts of mysterious lore, leading to seamlessly endless theories, multiple captivating plot arcs that had us on the edge of our seats, thrilling villains and possible villains that always had us second guessing on who would be next, and many endearing characters, and not just the main cast, but also many supporting characters too. Most of all still have their very own fan base, even to this day. And like myself, I believe that many of us fans just cared way too much about each and every character and aspect of this show. For just like one of Star's portals, we all got sucked into it and were dragged along for the ride. And just like a good cup of pudding, we just couldn't get enough. So much so, we even ended up scraping the sides. So what is the real problem with Star versus the Forces of Evil? Simply put, Star versus the Force of Evil was just too brilliant for our own good. And yet, it still never reached its full potential. That's it. Now I want to give some final thoughts on any possible future plans for Star vs. the Force of Evil, other content and or merchandise. I know that there are many out there that have said that Star vs. the Forces of Evil is now over, and that us fans should just all let it go and move on. And like myself, there are other fans that still want more Star vs. the Forces of Evil. Look, there's nothing wrong with moving on, but that does not mean that everyone else also needs to give up on this show as well. For some fans can enjoy new shows while still supporting old shows that have ended, and Star vs. the Forces of Evil is no exception. For even though Darren Nefsey and her crew have actually moved on to their very own individual projects, they have also continued to support Star vs. the Force of Evil and its fan base. And Darren Nefsey herself has even said that she would be willing to return for more Star vs. the Force of Evil once again, if ever given the chance. So there is no need for anyone to bother Darren Nefsey directly to try to get her on board. It might be true that all good things must come to an end, but I do believe that it is also true that all great things find a way to return. And I do believe that Star vs. the Forces of Evil is one of these great things. Star vs. the Forces of Evil does not need to be saved. It needs to be supported. Star vs. the Forces of Evil does not need to be fixed. It just needs to be continued. For I believe in Darren Nefsey and her crew, and would love to see where they would take Star vs. the Forces of Evil next. And if Star vs. the Forces of Evil were ever to return in some way, shape, or form, it be a new season, spin-off, movie, and or etc., I even believe that some of those naysayers would return to check it out as well. But I also wish Darren Nefsey and her crew all the very best in whatever they do. It be returning to something old, or it be involved in something new. Also, be aware that Star vs. the Forces of Evil is actually the sole property of Disney. And for any of this to happen, it would have to be all up to Disney in the end. Now, as far as wanting more official Disney Star vs. the Forces of Evil merchandise and other content, absolutely. And I also believe that there are many other Star vs. the Forces of Evil and Disney fans out there that do as well. For a lot of other past top Disney shows got their very own merchandise and other content during the show's run, as well as even after the show had ended, such as console video games, more books, DVDs and Blu-ray, board games, official Disney pins, vinylizations, and believe it or not, even lamps. Not to mention theme park character meet and greets, theme park mini dance party parades, interactive theme park attractions, and the list just goes on and on. I just feel that Star vs. the Forces of Evil should be treated the same way as Disney has treated their other past top Disney shows. Nothing less, nothing more. Come on, Disney. Why keep chasing after your pot of gold at the end of a rainbow when you already have something even better right underneath one? Just saying. If and when any more Star vs. the Forces of Evil ever gets greenlit once again, I hope to hear that when Darren Nefsey goes out to put her talented crew back together, that each of them would stare right into Darren Nefsey's eyes and say, "You mother of a butterfly, I'm in." Well, there you have it. This concludes my opinions on this controversial topic of what was the real problem with Star versus the Forces of Evil. Bye!
Como habrás podido ver, alrededor de muchos países hay fanáticos a quienes esta serie ha inspirado en sus vidas. Tiene un valor significativo muy importante para cada uno. Y es por todas estas razones que Star vs. las Fuerzas del Mal tiene que continuar. Y pido de corazón, oigan nuestras peticiones. Estaremos totalmente agradecidos con ustedes, Disney. Un saludo desde Perú y desde todas las dimensiones existentes.